Magandang gabi po sa aking mga kababayang Pilipino sa Pilipinas at kung saan man kayo naroon sa mundo. Ito po ngayon ating topic, ang ating pick-up news. Ito nga po yung tungkol sa China na naman, no? China na naman. Ito nga po yung base militar ng US sa Okinawa, Japan. Ito nga po yung magiging target, kaunahang target ng mga Chinese pag nagkaroon ng sakuna sa Taiwan. Bago po magsimula, gusto ko lang batiin yung aking mga viewers at mga kaibigan nandito na. Si Sir G's, Super Mom C, si Sir Jimmy Damsel, tsaka si Sis Best Friend. Magandang gabi po sa inyo. Ito po yung ano natin ngayong gabi. Ito yung gusto kong talakayin. Yung tungkol nga po dito sa news na to. Basahin ko lang po muna yung news. China extended its threats against Taiwan to include a more direct move against Japan and its treaty ally, the United States. The Liaoning aircraft carrier sailed quietly east between Okinawa and Miyako Islands of Japan, Okinawa Prefecture, sandwiching the Japanese territory with China's mainland to the west. Between December 17 and December 22, nung nakaraang taon po, no, the Chinese Navy flew a total of 184 fighter jets and helicopters from the carrier in an apparent drill against the Nansei Island chain. Nansei po yun sa ano po yan sa Japan, malapit po sa Okinawa, no? Also known as the Ryukyu Islands, which includes Okinawa, where the United States has several military bases. This elevated threat threshold along with the increasing assertiveness of other Chinese actions, such as the spy balloon incident, brings new dynamics and risk to Okinawa itself. Yan nga po yung news, no? Gusto ko lang pong paalam sa mga kababayan natin na ito po pag magkaroon po ng sakuna sa Taiwan ay ano po siya, kahit saan ka po magtago sa mundo, pag nagtirahan na ng nuclear weapons, wala ka na po matataguan. Kasi yung earth po mismo mawawala na yan, mawawala na yung earth, no? Kaya kahit ano pa takot sa inyo, wag na po kayo matakot. Hindi na kailangan nating matakot eh. Kasi sabay-sabay na tayong mamamatay. Ito po kasi pag sinakop ng China ang Taiwan by force, ano po, magre-react po yung ang US 100%. At sa military ano po, sa point of view, ang unang target yung mga makakasakit sa mga military nila, no? So unahin yung base militar ng Amerika. Saan ba 'yon? 'Di ba sa malapit diyan sa Okinawa, sa mainland Japan meron din, no? Ngayon nagpapatayo sa Pilipinas ng EDCA site. Yan din po sigurado target yan, no? Pero gusto ko lang ipaalam, no? Pag nag-targeta na, pag magtirahan na sila, mga 48 hours lang po 48 hours bago magputukan, diyan mo na makikita kung sino yung mananalo, no? At sumunod pa, pag hindi na po mapigil yan, tuloy-tuloy na yan. Siguro wag sanang umabot sa nuclear, no? Pero paningin ko baka po mataas yung possibility kasi ubusan yan ubusan. Ang target ng China ay Taiwan. Pag hindi nila nasakop ang Taiwan sa loob ng 48 hours, tagilid na sila, no? Kaya naghahanda po ngayon ang mga military, gumagalaw ang military ng US secretly. Naghahanda po sila. Yun po yung trabaho ng mga militar. Be prepared, di ba? Kahit anong mangyari, nandiyan sila, nakahanda sila. Pero wag naman sanang umabot kasi may problema po ngayon yung ano eh, yung ewan ko, di ba alam nyo naman siguro lahat kayo, alam nyo naman eh. Yung Ukraine, Russia. Sana nga wag naman pumanig yung China doon sa Russia kasi pag nangyari po 'yon, point of no return na. Wala na tayong ano, mawawala na yung mundo, yung earth. Tsaka 'di ba, alam niyo siguro karamihan sa inyo mga 'di ba, mga sis, mga nanonood din kayo ng news, mga tagapagmasig din kayo ng bayan, 'di ba? Ng mga ng mga news na 'yan. So siguro alam nyo kung ano yung mga danger ng mga nuclear weapons. At saka merong ginawa yung ano no, yung Russia no. Alam niyo yung pangalan, ikaw sis alam mo siguro eh, sis best friend. Sis. Alam mo yung Poseidon, 'di ba? Alam mo yung Poseidon nuclear weapon? Hindi. Ano po 'yun? Nilalagay sa submarine. At saka yun, doon siya tumitira. Sa ano mismo, titirahin niya yung karagatan. So nuclear po yun, mag-create po yun ng tidal waves. So pag ipaputok mo yun doon sa malapit sa sa US, matatabunan po ang lupain ng US ng tidal waves. So wala po makakaligtas doon, no? Yun po yung Poseidon na tinatawag na nuclear weapons na ginagawa meron na po pero siguro ilalagay na nila sa nuclear submarine din nila, no? At pag yun po, lahat na nasa karagatan na submarine din ng mga US, maano po yun, kahit nakatago sila, mayayari sila, no? Kasi ano yun, malakas masyado yun eh. Tubig kasi, di ba? So pag ganun nangyari, unahan na lang. Meron kasi sa taas, sa langit, di ba? Meron na nuclear doon, yung B-52, no? Merong B-1, B-2, no? Spirit, no? Meron din sa lupa na nuclear, intercontinental, no? Pag nangyari po yun, ay wala na yung Earth, sinasabi ko. Huwag na tayong matakot kasi pag nangyari po yun, sabay-sabay tayo. Sabay-sabay po tayo. At saka kung may matira mga po naman na kahit nga konting tao, siguro mamamatay sa gutom. Yung gusto ko lang po sa inyo pakita yung ginawa kong video. Ito nga po no, yung video kong ginawa tungkol sa kung ano mangyari sa nuclear war. Panoorin na po natin sandali, no?
In 1980 that an asteroid impacted Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula
Teka lang po,
towards the end of the Cretaceous
ulitin ko
era.
dito.
According to a recent research, more than 5 billion people, nearly 63% of the world's current population, would die of starvation in the aftermath of a full-scale nuclear war between the United States, Russia, and their allies. According to the researchers, the conflict would cause widespread fires that could eject up to 165 million tons, 150 million metric tons, of soot into the Earth's atmosphere, resulting in crop declines in food-exporting countries like the United States and Russia that would reduce global calorie production by up to 90%. The study, which was published on August 15th in the journal Nature Food, is the latest in a 4-decade-long effort to sketch out the possibility of nuclear war. According to the most recent Stockholm International Peace Research Institute study, Russia possesses 5,977 nuclear weapons and the United States has 5,428 of the world's approximately 12,705 nuclear warheads. China, with 350 nuclear weapons, is the country with the third most. India and Pakistan each have 160 and 165. And here's how the quote scene will look like in this template. Would cause climatic change that is unparalleled in human history. In a nuclear war between the United States and Russia, more people will die from starvation in India and Pakistan alone than in the countries actually waging the battle. The most immediate consequences of any nuclear war, at least for individuals in a targeted city, have been widely publicized since the United States dropped the atomic bomb Little Boy on the Japanese city of Hiroshima on August 6, 1945. Within 5 months after its detonation, the single bomb killed an estimated 140,000 people and destroyed or badly damaged more than 60,000 of the city's approximately 90,000 structures. 6. Eyewitness testimonies collated by journalist John Hersey and published in 1946 describe the catastrophic damage and quick aftermath of the strike. The light of the bomb first emerged as a dazzling, noiseless flash as brilliant as the sun, followed by the shock wave, which hurled corpses beneath collapsing buildings. The vaporized deads clear, black shadows were seen stenciled on the walls and streets in the aftermath, while survivors who were near to the blast emerged nude, their skin sloughed off by the heat of the explosion, to roam the devastated city in startled amazement. Studies began as early as 1947 to document the suffering that followed the attack, which would endure a lifetime for many. Radioactive fallout had coated the region, a result of the nuclear fission process that gave Little Boy its devastating power. Increased rates of cancer, cataracts, and other health issues remained for years in survivors who had been close to the bomb's epicenters in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which was bombed 3 days later. However, it would take experts 4 decades to discover about and debate the most devastating and terrifying result of even a small-scale nuclear war, so-called nuclear winter. Radioactive dust and smoke would block out a major percentage of the sun's brightness in this apocalypse scenario. With temperatures dropping, many of the world's crops would perish, causing a worldwide famine and wiping off billions of people. To simulate how this apocalyptic event would affect the planet's ability to sustain life, the researchers calculated the amount of soot produced by 6 potential nuclear war scenarios, ranging from 5 scenarios based on a limited war between India and Pakistan over the Kashmir region, which would produce 5.5 million to 52 million tons, 5 million to 47 million metric tons, of soot depending on the scale of the conflict, to a full-scale global nuclear war involving India and Pakistan. The scientists entered the soot concentrations into the National Center for Atmospheric Research's NCAR Community Earth System Model, a forecasting tool that models changes in Earth's sunshine, temperature, and precipitation. These adjustments were then put into NCAR's Community Land Model, which provided the scientists with a country-by-country breakdown of the substantial losses in corn, rice, soybean, wheat, and fish harvests caused by a nuclear winter. Assuming that international trade stopped and that remaining resources were not hoarded, the scientists assessed how nuclear winter would diminish the quantity of food calories produced globally, as well as the number of people who would go hungry as a result. The researchers discovered that in the worst-case scenario of a nuclear war between the United States and Russia, temperatures on Earth's surface could drop by up to 29 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 degrees Celsius, or more than 3 times the temperature difference between now and the last ice age, killing 5 billion people. In the most severe conflict between India and Pakistan, world calorie output might fall by half, resulting in 2 billion fatalities. According to the experts, food importing countries in Africa and the Middle East would be the most impacted. Meanwhile, Australia and New Zealand would fare the best since they would dodge most of the northern hemisphere bombs and rely on wheat harvests that would grow better in the colder environment. The important thing to know is the amount of smoke being put into the atmosphere, said study co-author Owen B. Toon, a professor of atmospheric and oceanic sciences at the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics, who collaborated with Carl Sagan on the 1983 paper that is credited with popularizing the concept of nuclear winter. The energy unleashed by these flames is 100 to 1,000 times that of the weapons themselves. In the stratosphere, it does not rain. As a result, when that much smoke gets up there, it stays there for years. Toon, Sagan, and their colleagues were interested in nuclear winter after learning about a stunning discovery regarding what destroyed the dinosaurs. A different group of scientists found in 1980 that an asteroid impacted Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula towards the end of the Cretaceous era, around 66 million years ago. The asteroid, as is well known now, killed off the non-avian dinosaurs. However, it was the cooling cloud of dust and debris created by the collision that killed around 75% of Earth's fauna, including the dinosaurs. Toon, Sagan, and their colleagues extended this knowledge to nuclear confrontations using basic atmospheric models and satellite data. They discovered that small-scale thermonuclear battles with as little as 101 megaton nuclear weapons might spark enough fires to send a thick layer of jet black smoke into the atmosphere, causing land temperatures to plunge below 5 to -13 F, -15 to -25. They predicted a cooling impact lasting up to 2 decades. The prospect of Homo sapiens extinction cannot be ruled out, their study found. Sagan's interest in the Drake equation, the renowned formula that allows scientists to estimate the number of intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations residing in the Milky Way, drew him to worries about humanity's long-term survival. Concerning the equation's author, scientist Frank Drake, the early calculations estimated that The advanced alien civilizations inhabited our galaxy may number somewhere between 20 and 50 million. This prompted Sagan to consider the Fermi paradox. If that were the case, why hadn't we seen them yet? He came to the conclusion that intelligent civilizations couldn't exist very long because they were destroying themselves with nuclear weapons, Toon said. While the overall number of nuclear weapons in the world has decreased sharply since the Cold Wars, and the number of countries that possess them has increased, and bilateral peace treaties discarded by Russian President Vladimir Putin and then US President Donald Trump are unlikely to be renewed during Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Meanwhile, according to a US Department of Defense assessment, China may be preparing to double its nuclear arsenal to more than 1,000 by the end of the decade. All nuclear-armed states are increasing or upgrading their arsenals, and most are sharpening nuclear rhetoric and the role nuclear weapons play in their military strategies, the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute wrote in its latest annual report, which projected global annual military spending at a record high of $2.1 trillion for 2021, the seventh consecutive year of growth. According to the authors of the new study, the new research emphasizes the necessity to commit to long-term disarmament methods that will eliminate nuclear weapons from the world. If nuclear weapons exist, they can be utilized, and the world has gotten dangerously near to nuclear war, Robach warned. Nuclear disarmament is the only long-term answer. The United Nations Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons has been ratified by 66 countries, but none of the 9 nuclear powers. Our research demonstrates that it is past time for those 9 countries to heed to science and the rest of the world and sign this deal. Furthermore, the current nuclear arms reduction deal, known as New START, is slated to expire in 2026, according to Tom Colina, Director of Policy at Plowshares Fund, a San Francisco-based charity that supports projects to prevent nuclear weapon proliferation and use. Aside from putting weapons off alert and committing to only second use, Colina added, both parties should cooperate to decrease their enormous arsenals by drafting a new deal to replace the New START Accord. The 10th Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference, which takes place this month, will be a critical test of these political hurdles. Delegates are now meeting at the United Nations headquarters in New York to reaffirm and enhance nuclear nonproliferation and disarmament promises. According to the Arms Control Association, no progress has been made at the conference thus far.
So, ayun lang po, no. Ganyan na po mangyayari pag magka-ano po, no, magka-nuclear war. Kaya wala po tayong ikakatakot, no. Sabay-sabay po tayo. Sis, ano ba, mag-ano pala si ate, magla-live. Pasensya na ate, anong mahaba, ang konting mahaba ngayon. Punta po tayo doon. Andiyan ka pa ba ate? Yan lang po yung gusto kong sabihin, ano? Ano sis? Ngayon, ate, mag-live ka na kaya, tapusin ko na to. Yun lang po yung mensahe gusto kong iparating. Kaya wala po tayong ikakatakot. Pag magputukan na po, mawawala na po talaga yung earth eh. Mas mabuti pang mamatay mabilis kaysa sa magutom ka, no? Maghihirap ka pa. So, para sa akin, pag nagkaputukan, mamatay na mabilis, no? Kaysa sa yung maghihirap ka, magugutom ka pa, no? Siguro, kakainin mo yung mga katabi mong tao pag wala ka na talagang makain, no? So, bago pa mangyari yun, mas maganda pa, ano? Lalaban. Hindi ka na nga makalaban sis yung pag nuclear na, di ba? Yung Poseidon, di ba? Punta na po tayo kay ate. At mag-ano na siya. Pasensya na te na nalalate ako. Okay, tapusin ko na po to. Marami pong salamat sa nagpunta. Si ate, Super Mom, Sis Arlene, Sis Best Friend, sino pa? Sir Gis, Sir Damsel, nabanggit ko na ba lahat? Okay. Thank you po maraming salamat sa pagpunta. Punta po tayo kay ate ngayon. Magsa-start na siguro siya. Thank you po at magandang gabi sa inyo lahat.